Hello and welcome to Manoeuvre's sentence completion topic today. Students, today we shall be discussing with how to complete a one-liner or two-liner or max to max 3 to 4-liner sentences which have fill in the blanks in them. Right? Now, what do we generally do is in a sentence completion topic, we generally tend to make things or connect words in such a way where we are not at times able to understand that what will be the words that we might need to so as to get into a complete sentence which makes sense to us, right? In sentence completion there are probably so many things that we will need to think at that particular point of time, which may even confuse us, which may even make us feel that we are lost somewhere, right? And to avoid these feelings, we have come up with certain techniques which we can use while we can solve our sentence completion. Now in such cases, what happens is that we can always make some tricks and tips known to us, use it in such a way that we are out of our dilemmas, we are out of our confusions, right? And in this way we can proceed towards making our sentence more meaningful, making it completely correct in a way where sentence completion is never a task for us, is not something that is very much scaring us, or that is making us quite making us fumbled, making us think twice as to what option do we select. Now here relevance is one thing which we can use while doing our sentence completion task, and connections, right? Connections is one thing, and using parallel ideas, the usage of parallel ideas. These three things will help us to make a connection with a sentence by establishing relation between the words that are before and after the blank. Correct? In this way, we can use our focus and our thought process, right? Our focus and thought process to make us understand what the sentence, in what connection, in what reference will the sentence be used, will the word be filled in there, and will make the sentence look very correct, very much sensible to us. All right, now we can see the sentences and then we can probably understand how we can actually proceed about to solve it. So let's see some of the sentences. Now here we are seeing the sentence which says, the bandit dashed the traveler, right? The bandit dash, our dash is over here, our blank is over here. The bandit dashed the traveler of his purse of gold and dashed him grievously. Correct? We have two blanks over here. And let us focus on some keywords which will help us to choose the correct option out of these four. The first option says, is it snatched and hurt? The pair says, A pair says snatched and hurt together. Is it stole and injured together? Is it demanded and beat together? Or is it robbed and wounded together? Let us see which pair of word will suit the best in our sentence and make it more meaningful and correct in all the possible ways. Now, the bandit dashed the traveler of his purse. If we use, let us try and imply all the options that we have over here, starting with the A option. Can we use the word, the bandit snatched the traveler? Let us divide first the sentence into two parts. The bandit dashed the traveler. Alright, I have divided my sentence over here into two parts. The bandit dashed the traveler, and the other part says, of his purse of gold. Right? So first I am focusing only on the first part. While dividing the sentence, I am focusing only on the first part. The bandit dashed the traveler. Let us use the word snatched. Can we make a sense by writing the bandit snatched the traveler? Can anybody snatch a traveler? Is it possible? No. Snatching a traveler can never be the answer. Stole. The bandit stole the traveler. Can stole the traveler be stole? Is it possible that you stole somebody? You steal somebody? So let us rule out the first and second option here itself. Right? We can never insert a word which says snatch the traveler, stole the traveler. Right? It is not, the traveler is not a materialistic thing. Traveler is a person which we are referring to right now at this point of time after the division of the sentence. We are not concerned with the later part of the sentence. What did he rob him of? What did he do about it? We are not concerned with this part of the sentence at all. We are only and only focusing on the first half, which says the bandit snatched the traveler. The bandit stole the traveler. Let's use our trick over here. Instead of that, let us try and put the bandit demanded the traveler. Yes, the bandit can demand the traveler of something, right? Since he's a person, the bandit can demand him something, can demand something from him, correct? So we can think about our C option. Let us keep it aside. Move on to the D option, which says the bandit robbed the traveler. Is that possible? Yes, the bandit can rob the traveler. It is very much possible. The word robbed is possible. The bandit robbed the traveler, correct? Now, out of the C and D option that we are left with, since we have already ruled out our A and B option, let us see the second half of the sentence, leaving our two options with us. Let us move towards the second half. Now, after looking at the second half, we see of his purse of gold and dash him grievously. Dash him grievously. Let us try to insert both the words, beat him grievously or wounded him grievously. Now, wounded him grievously would be telling us that by wounded, what it conveys that the bandit has already made wounds on the body of the traveler. Wounds, right? And beat is something where he is already beaten up the traveler, right? Now the word grievously also helps us to choose a word. If we focus on the word grievously, it means and it implies that something that is done in a very bad way. Seriously, we can opt for a word called seriously, or we can even write very dangerously, right? Okay, these are the two words we can imply by the meaning of the word grievously. Say if you don't even know the meaning of grievously, let us assume that since he has been robbed or he has been stolen, the purse has been stolen or whatsoever, let us assume that the word grievously will have either this meaning or this meaning. And even if you are not aware, you can assume these words, but if you are aware, grievously does mean done something in a very bad way, very seriously, very much in a manner where he can be actually put in a danger, a situation can be put in a danger zone, correct? So now if we think about these logics, what do we think? Wounded will be the correct option or beat will be the correct option? Wounds will come only after being beaten, right? Wounds will not be coming on their own. Wounds will be coming there only after he is being beaten. So beaten will be the correct option over here, right? After he is being beaten, you can see wound on somebody's body. Seriously, because wounded directly will never be over here, because being wounded would not make sense unless and until it has been discussed that he was being beaten first, right? So we have to rule out our last option as well, and thus by choosing the second option over here, we will go with the pair C. Alright, we will choose our pair C. The bandit demanded the traveler, right? The bandit demanded the traveler of his purse of gold and beaten him grievously. Beat him grievously, right? Beat him grievously. So this is the way where we can choose the best option for ourselves and then proceed to make the sentence quite meaningful and quite understandable, correct in its own position, in its own way. The bandit demanded the traveler of his purse of gold. Now, since the bandit had demanded a traveler for his purse of gold and then he had beaten him very grievously, very seriously, that injured the bandit very badly. Alright, so this is one way where we can use our connections. Now, here the technique we used was that the traveler, we divided the sentence into half till the traveler. We divided the sentence into two, correct? And then we proceeded to making connections with our traveler, with our person in question, and then we proceeded, because if had there been another word which doesn't suggest a human, which suggests something related to material, like how the second half has the connection that way, so the whole meaning of the sentence would have been changed and we wouldn't have been able to gauge the correct word over here. So what we did, we used the trick of dividing the sentence into two, right? Dividing sentence. This is one way where we used the trick and we came to our conclusive answer. Now similarly, we can go to the second example, which has another trick which we can use to come to a particular conclusion. The sentence here says, the deputy manager dashed to resign because all his proposals were rejected. I'm sorry, rejected is not mentioned, but let us assume, right? Were dash down by his superiors. If you assume the word rejected in your mind like I just did, you will be more in a position to understand what the sentence is trying to convey. The deputy manager dashed to resign. Think about the word rejected, because we have already used the word resign over here. This is called the assumption technique. Here we will be using two tricks. One is the assumption trick. We have assumed that the word rejected will be more suitable because we keep the word in our mind to understand the sentence properly without the blanks being filled. So let us proceed. The deputy manager dashed to resign because all his proposals were dashed down by his superiors. Now we'll look at the tenses also over here that will help us to solve our problems ahead. Were. Now when we're talking about the tense part of the sentence, when we focus on the word were, it indicates something that is related completely to a past tense. Correct? With the help of tenses, let us proceed. The first option says offered and thrown. Let us try to insert the first word, offered. Right? The first option says offered and thrown. The deputy manager offered to resign. First of all, as we all know, in resignation or any kind of papers, when somebody is trying to quit an organization, we don't offer something to resign. We generally don't offer. Offer doesn't go with the word where the person is planning to leave. Right? He's planning to leave the organization. So the word offer doesn't go well with the idea of resignation first of all. Fine. Let us move to the second option. We'll leave it here. Moving to the second option. The deputy manager gave to resign. Yes, it is possible. Gave to resign, that is what his idea over here is. He gave to resign means he is planning to, he has already given, not planning. Actually, no planning is being mentioned. He has already had something in his mind. He has already gone under the action where he just gave, which shows our past tense as well. Right? Complete past tense where he gave. Here when the word gave is being mentioned, the deputy manager gave to resign, and here again we have one more past tense mentioned over here like we discussed. The past tense says were. So again we establish a connection with were and gave, and we keep our option B with us. We do not rule it out. Let us move to the third option that says C. The deputy manager began to resign. Is it ever possible that somebody begins to resign? The option itself is completely incorrect because we cannot begin to resign. The word begin is to start something, right? And we have already had our past tense in the sentence mentioned clearly with us, right? Were. So we will not connect the word begin, which shows future tense. If we show the connection with the tenses, let us focus here. The word began will show us the future tense. Similarly, the word willing will show us the future tense, whereas we are talking about the past over here. The continuation of the sentence talks something about the past tense since were is being mentioned. Right? So in that case, what we do is we rule out option C and option D completely because we do not want something that has any relevance with future tenses. Right? Future tenses we do not want because the sentence already mentioned something that has a past tense in it, right? The word indicates were is a past tense. So we will not use the word began or willing, which indicates only a future tense here in the sentence, right? Okay, so now moving back to option A and B. Now as I said, a resignation or something that shows the leaving of an organization is never offered. Correct? Yes, it can be given, and also gave has its own past participle mentioned over here, gave, right? And held is again a past tense. So we think and we can assume that since option A, C and D can never be there, let us focus on the two words and refit it and try to read it. The deputy manager began will not be there. The deputy manager willing will never be there. The deputy manager offered, we have ruled out already all the three options. What we are left is the deputy manager gave to resign because all his proposals were held down, right? The proposals were held down by his superiors. The proposals were not taken well by his superiors. They were not accepted well by his superiors. Alright, so this is one thing that we can conclude out of our knowings, out of our tricks and techniques that we have used in our both the examples. Correct? So this is one thing that we have to always keep in mind while solving these kind of sentence completions, that either the tenses or the division of the sentences can be helpful to us in solving these kind of passages, these kinds of sentences. So today, with the help of these examples, we have been able to understand how well we can formulate the sentence by using our tricks, and we'll be using it further in many other sentences so as to become completely thorough and perfect with it. Okay, now thank you for watching this, and I'm trying to understand. Join me here. Thank you very much. Now for more information, you can always log on to www.manoeuvre.edu.com, which is already mentioned over your website address. And don't forget to share and subscribe the channel and video to all your friends who are appearing for MBA CET. Okay, this is something which will be very useful for anybody who is appearing for MBA. And if you want to join for our online program, just click here, right? Just try and click over here. Just click over here for our online program. And you can call us on these numbers in case you have some queries with the course details. If you want to know anything about it, 8828581455, 8828581454. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.